All right, so we are live now, and the agenda for today is that we will be covering some important shlokas again, like shloka number 29 to 33. And before we start, let me pay my humble obeisances to our founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. I dedicate this session to Srila Prabhupada for his pleasure, and also to my Guru Maharaj. Uh, Because of these two personalities, today I'm sitting in front of you. Otherwise, I don't know where I would have been lying around. Okay. So, whatever I'm going to say in this session is something which I'll be merely repeating. What I have heard in the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, what I have read in the books of Srila Prabhupada, and what I have learned from the Guru Parampara and my Siksha Gurus of ISKCON. So the agenda would be Mangalacharan. First, we'll perform some pranam mantras to invoke auspiciousness, and then we will go through Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 29, chapter number 1, shloka 29 to 33. And then finally, we'll open the stage for question and answers. So while we're performing some pranam mantras, please, while staying on mute, those who know can chant after me. Those who don't know, try to listen very intently, because listening is also very, very purifying. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Okay, so let me share my screen and then we can start. Okay, so how many of you will be able to read today? Can you please raise your hand and give me an indication? Okay, Shita Mataji, Vana Mataji. Okay, Nilesh Prabhu is there, right? Okay, fine. We'll first start with these three and then we'll see. Okay. So you can lower your hands now. Thank you. Okay, so we'll start with Ishita Mataji in alphabetical order. And yes, would you like to recite the shloka, Mataji, by yourself, or shall I help you out?
Please correct me where I go wrong, Prabhuji. I will try to read it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
वेप्यतुश्च शरीरे में रोमा हर्षाश्च जयते।
Yes.
गांडीवम श्रमसाते हस्तात् त्वक् चैतव Paridhyate. Sorry, it was
Varidayate. Yeah,
really
good.
bad.
Yeah, that's nice attempt, Mataji. Okay. I'll read it for you once again and for everyone else. वेपथुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाण्डीवं संस्रसते हस्तात् त्वक्चैव परिदह्यते. Okay, you can read the translation and the purport, Mataji.
My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. And the purport says, there are two kinds of trembling of the body, the two kinds of standings of the hair on end. Such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy, es-
Ecstasy.
ecstasy, ecstasy, or out of great fear under material conditions. There is no fear in transcendental realization. Arjuna's symptoms in the situation are out of the material fear, namely the loss of life. This is evident from other symptoms also. He became so impatient that his famous bow, Gandiva, was slipping from his hands, and because his heart was burning within him, he was feeling a burning sensation of the skin. All these are due to material conception of life.
Thank you very much, Madam. Okay. So, how many of you are ready to listen to another story today? Right? So, yes. Yeah, actually, these small pastimes, these small stories, they do make sessions very interesting. So, there's another, important pastime which is associated with this particular verse. But before that, I would like to, just kind of summarize, that what had happened, earlier. That Arjun actually asked Krishna to take the chariot between the two armies. Why? So that he would be able to see, who all have come there to fight with him. Okay. And then when he sees the huge army of Kauravas standing in front of him, so he becomes a little bewildered. Okay, and especially by seeing all his relatives and kinsmen, like Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, Duryodhan himself, all these friends and relatives, and all the people were there whom he knew, whom he had grown up with, actually, right? And when he saw them, he got bewildered. And out of that bewilderment, he is actually saying this particular verse where he says that my hair is standing on my end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning, my whole body is trembling. Okay. So this is not an ordinary situation for anyone, actually. And just to make you understand that how that in what kind of situation Arjun was in right now, I'll just narrate a small pastime where his association with his famous bow Gandiva is explained very nicely. Okay, so Arjun was very fond of his bow Gandiva. Okay, and to an extent that he had taken a vow that he will behead a person who asks him to give up his Gandiva bow. So now let me take you back to Mahabharat war. Okay, it's towards the end of the war, during maybe 17th or 18th day of the war, and Karn was on fire, absolutely fire. He was just showering his arrows like torrential rainfalls. Okay, and no one was able to withstand that onslaught. I mean, Arjun was fighting there, of course, but all the others were like in a terrible mess at that time. And so much so that Yudhishthir got injured, and he then actually retired from the battlefield and went back to his camp to recapitulate, and so that people could attend to his wounds and all those things. So Arjun was fighting there, and after fighting for some time, he saw that Yudhishthir is not there, not around. So he became a little concerned that what has happened to his brother. And out of that concern, he actually also went back to the camp just to see that everything was okay. Okay. And when he came inside where Yudhishthir was, just he was relaxing, and like his wounds were being attended to. So when Yudhishthir saw him, he became very happy, and in his happiness, he called out, "Oh Arjun, finally you have killed Karna." So and with that kind of happiness, he just jumped out of his bed and went towards Arjun. So Arjun was very surprised. He said, "No, I have not killed Karna. I mean, I just came to see whether everything is okay with you, and that's it. I will, just I have to go back and kill him, actually." So hearing this, actually, Yudhishthir became very angry. Okay, and out of his anger, he said, "Then what is the use of your fighting? You just give up this Gandhi Babu." Right? And as soon as Arjun heard this statement from Yudhishthir, that give up this Gandhi Babu, what happened? He started taking out his sword, actually, quietly. Okay. Uh, so Krishna was there with Arjun at that time, and he said, "Why? What are you doing? Why are you pulling out your sword here?" So he said that, "Look, Krishna, I have taken a vow that anyone who asks me to give up the Gandiva bow, I'll have to behead him. Now, this is a Kshatriya's vow. I can't, backtrack from here. So I'll have to kill my own brother. There is no other solution." Krishna said, "Okay, please don't do all this natak. Keep your sword back. I'll tell you a better solution." Okay. So what is that better solution? Krishna told that, see, if you glorify yourself, no, see, if you chastise your superior, okay, then for the superior, it is as good as death. So you don't need to kill Yudhishthir, you just go and chastise him nicely. So that's what Arjun did. So immediately he put back his bow and just started, blaspheming Yudhishthir left, right, and center, disrespecting him like anything. And because of you, we are in this all mess. You played the gambling match, you lost the gambling match, and just see all trouble. Like we are the ones who are facing all the troubles. And you are injured, and everyone is in a complete mess. Look at Draupadi, what has happened, and all those things. He just went on and on and on and on, and Yudhishthir was completely stunned at that time. Okay, his younger brother was just chastising him, disrespecting him in front of everyone, right, in front of Krishna, and you just felt he was almost dead. Like he was dead, and he felt very morose at that time. And then after some time, Arjuna stopped, and he stayed silent for some time, and then again he started taking out his sword. So Krishna asked, "Now what? Yeah, why are you pulling it out again?" you, you just did what I said. So he said, "After disrespecting my elder brother, how can I live? I am going to kill myself now." So again, Krishna said, "Okay, don't do all this natak. I have another solution for you." What is that solution? He said, "Okay, you just go and glorify yourself in front of Yudhishthir." So at that time, the etiquette was that if a junior, glorifies himself or herself in front of the superior, then it was considered as good as a suicide for that person. Okay, for the junior actually. Okay, so ideally we should not be glorifying ourselves in front of the superiors. This is the actual etiquette. Although in Kali Yuga no one follows that, but it was in the previous yugas that was the etiquette. So Arjun went up to the Yudhishthir and again he started glorifying. Okay, that I went to the celestial planets and brought all these celestial weapons. I did this, I did that, and just pointing towards Yudhishthir, he said that if anyone at all wins this battle today, it will be all because of me. And after doing that for some time, and Arjun said, "Okay, yeah, now I feel better. I think I have committed suicide. I'm good." Right? So, point which I'm trying to make here is that you can just see the attachment of Arjun towards his Gandiva bow, that he was even ready to kill his brother at that time, right? And that very Gandiva bow was slipping from his hands when he saw the friends and relatives and kinsmen on the opposite side. Okay, and we will see like what Prabhupada is saying in this particular purport. Okay, very nicely he has written certain things. Okay, so there are two kinds of trembling in the body and two kinds of standing of hairs on the end. Such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or out of great fear under material conditions. Okay, so we are all very clear that Arjun was not in a spiritual ecstasy. Okay, he was not blissful at all. He was, very, very fearful. Fearful of death, actually death of his own kinsman. Okay, and just see, Prabhupada writes further, Arjun's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. Okay. So, and another line, the last line which Prabhupada says here is, all these are due to material conception of life. Okay. So, what do we mean by material conception of life? Now, in the second chapter, we are going to discuss this particular topic, this material conception of life in great detail. Okay, but just to give an introduction or just to touch up upon this topic, I'm just going to maybe say a few lines or a few words like related to that. And Material conception of life is something like I am the body, okay, and everything in this material world, like everything which is related to me, thing or every person that is related to me, they are mine. Okay, so this particular concept is called material conception of life. But we have seen, like in the previous sessions, also we have discussed several slokas, and we have just established beyond doubt by citing references from the Bhagavad Gita itself that this material world is temporary. Okay, Krishna himself has called this as a shashvatam. It is temporary. Okay, nothing is going to be permanent over here. Sooner or later, either all the things which we are attached to, all the people with whom we are attached to, they will leave us or we will leave them. Okay, either of these two things will happen. No one is going to remain here permanently. Okay, but it's our attachment towards this temporary aspect of this material world is known as the material conception of life. Okay, we are very attached to people and things around us. Okay, and that is why Arjun was actually bewildered. When he saw, because he was very attached to this all his relatives, his kinsmen, and everyone. Okay, so now a question may arise that Arjun was there with Krishna, like right, he was with Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So why this kind of bewilderment for him? Okay, he should have been in pure consciousness, correct? So the answer is that we have seen in the previous sessions also that it was Krishna's plan actually, right? See, if Krishna had already planned to kill all of them, it was his plan to bring everyone on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them. Okay, why? Because there's another small pastime. It will hardly take another 5 minutes. I can explain that also. So after this Vastra Haran of Draupadi happened, so at that time, Draupadi called out Krishna very piteously. Okay, and obviously we all know that Krishna heard the cry and he came there. He saved Draupadi. And when after all that had happened, when Draupadi went back to Krishna, so she was again crying very piteously in front of him. And Krishna said that I could not do justice to the piteous cry that you had made for me. Okay, so the right thing would have been that should have immediately summoned my Sudarshan Chakra and I would have beheaded this Duryodhan and Dushasan at the same time. Okay, but I didn't do that, and at that moment itself, Krishna had made up his mind that okay, I'll make some arrangements where I'll just get all these people together, and in one shot I'll kill them all. Okay, so this actually was the plan of Krishna. Okay, now, this whole thing, like, then why to bewilder Arjun, right? This plan was there for Krishna to bring everyone. Everyone was there on the battlefield. Now he could have straight away, just gone and, gone ahead with the battle and killed everyone just like that. And we have seen that Arjun had done that in the past, right? With during the Agyatwas, right? But why this bewilderment now? So we will see in the fourth and the fifth chapter that Krishna himself clarifies this, that sometimes when this knowledge is actually, this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita is a divine knowledge basically, and when this knowledge is lost actually, then from time to time Krishna himself comes and reestablishes the principles of dharma. Okay, the principles of religion, and in order to do that, this time he chose Arjun as a medium. Okay, so he just bewildered Arjun, and then all those questions which Arjun put forward we'll see subsequently as we go on reading Bhagavad Gita, and then we get this profound knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this was the explanation for this particular shloka. Let me share my screen again. We'll move to the next one then. Okay. So Ivana Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yep.
Prabhuji, should I follow or like should I read on my own?
Whatever you say. If you need my help, I can just read and you can follow me, or you can try yourself as well.
Can you help?
Yeah, sure, Mataji. So just repeat after me. Nacha shaknumyavasthatum
Acha shakyam avasthatam
brahmativa cha me manah
brahmativa cha me vaha
Nimittani cha pashyami
Nimittani ch pashyami.
Vipritani Keshava.
Vipritani Keshava.
Yeah. Please read the translation and the purport.
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. Due to his impatience, Arjun was unable to stay on the battlefield and he was forgetting himself on the account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such bewildering condition of existence. Bhayam div-
Divyatibhi nivastita syat. Yeah, you can read the English part, Mataji.
Such fearful and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimittani vipritani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self interest by Krishna's will. One's real self interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned souls forget this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would be only a cause of lamentation for him.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So another very important verse, and we will see the translation and then the meaning. We'll analyze it actually. So Krishna says, now I'm unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I only see causes of misfortune, O Krishna, O killer of Kesi demon. Okay. So he's calling Keshava. No, not Keshava. What is he calling? Keshava, yes. All right. So now we first need to understand that this bewilderment of Arjun, this was not justified at all. Okay. Why? The reason is that this battle, actually Arjun was thinking that this battle was between him and his relatives. Okay. But this battle was actually between dharma and adharma. Okay. But instead of that, Arjun was actually, taking it personally, and he was seeing his own kinsmen on the battlefield. So, as a royal member of, as a member of the royal order, actually, this was not very justified from, any point of view. Okay, not just Arjun's point of view, but from any point of view. Why? Because person who is holding such authoritative position in the society, okay, they should not be in any way attached to their personal relations, when it comes to making a judgment. Okay, they should be very, the judgment should be very just and very fair for everyone. Okay, it's Arjun's behavior right now is somewhat similar to a judge who is saying that, okay, release this person from custody because he is my relative, he or she is my relative, right? So that is not justified at all. I mean, for especially for people who are the part of a royal order, it's not justified. And why such bewilderment happens, we have seen, okay, that, because of the material conception of life, because of attachment to person, places, animals, and things, right, who are around us, basically. Okay. So anything that is related to us, we start considering them as ours. Okay. But this, we have seen that this material world is temporary. And as soon as some change happens in this material world, okay, we are not able to withstand it. And exactly same situation was there with Arjun. Okay. So, just I'll try to explain this with the help of an analogy. That just imagine that there is a child who is playing with some toys, actually, and that we have seen that children are very attached to their toys, and this particular child is completely engrossed with in playing with his toy. Now, at that point of time, if someone goes and just forcibly takes away that toy from that child, what's going to happen? Trust me, all hell will break loose. Okay, that guy is going to throw such kind of tantrums that it's it will be very, very difficult to control that kid, actually, right? So why this is happening? Because that kid was very attached to very attached to the toy, and we have forcibly taken it away. So similar, is our case basically. Okay, so we are very attached to all the things and people whom we are related to. That kind of attachment is very similar to the attachment of a kid for his toys. Okay, and when any such relations is removed from our life, or when any such things with which we are very attached to, if that is taken away from us, our behavior is just like that kid. We are not able to withstand that change, and we make a lot of noise. Okay, so what is the solution to this problem? Actually, obviously attachments will be there. I mean, it's not very easy to let go of people who are in our lives, or the things which we prefer in our lives. Okay, it's very difficult. I mean, had it been easier, we would have seen far more attendance in this Gita course, right? Why only few set of people are here, who are coming each and every week, right? So this is the reason that attachment and the desires are basically the root cause, and we are just too attached to these all temporary things. We fail to realize that this material world is temporary, and it's just because of Maya. Maya creates that illusion that if everything is going well in our lives, then that illusion is there in our head that okay, this is going to continue like this forever. Okay, but change is happening every single minute, every single moment. Okay, every single second. Okay. But then what is the solution? Now, I mean, how can we let go of these attachments? Okay, so Prabhupada says here clearly in the purport. Okay, so he says, no one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. Very important point. Okay, the conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pain. Okay, so only if we are able to remember Krishna each and every single moment of our life, then obviously we will know that okay, nothing is mine. Then what kind of attachment we are talking about? Yes, everything belongs to Krishna. For example, if you are staying in a rented house and tomorrow the owner comes and says that okay, I need you to vacate this place, I'm giving you 3 months of notice, will you be very attached to that place? No. Similarly, we start packing our things. I mean, that's the way people are living here in Bangalore and other metropolitan cities, right? Most of the families, we simply look for some another place and then we move out, right? So at that time there is no bewilderment, right? There is no attachment, there is no bewilderment. Why? Because we know that this particular house is not ours, it doesn't belong to me. So similarly, if that kind of realization we have that okay, this material world, this entire material world, or rather entire creation, why only material creation? The spiritual world, material world, everything, it just belongs to Krishna, and Krishna wanted something or someone to take it back from me. Fine, it was his call, right? I mean, we should not be very much attached for that. Okay, so that can only happen if we are continuously having the remembrance of Krishna. The moment we forget that, we are simply captivated by Maya, and then everything goes for a toss. Okay, so Arjun thought that his victory in the battle would be only cause of lamentation for him because of this illusion. Okay, so when we say that we have to constantly remember Krishna, so what will happen if we are doing that? Okay, so and how can we do that? So if we use all that we have in the service of Krishna, okay, so then what happens? Then the attachment is removed. Okay, we are using everything that we have in the service of Krishna. So we will no longer be attached to that particular thing. We know that this belongs to Krishna and I'm using it in his service. Tomorrow, whether this particular thing is with me or if it is not with me, doesn't matter. Okay, my services towards Krishna will continue. Okay, so that attachment will be gone. And then if we have full faith in Krishna that he is there in every circumstances, right? He is there as a Paramatma in my heart. He is going to be there when, as long as I'm alive, and even after quitting my body, he is going to be there with me. We in the previous sessions we saw that the only constant thing which will remain with us, once we quit this body and move to another body, will be Krishna. We may be getting new set of relatives, we may be getting new set of things around us, but there is one thing which will always remain constant, and that is Krishna as Paramatma in our hearts. So once we have that realization, then obviously the anxiety will also go away. So this entire bewilderment thing will be taken care of. So, but the thing is that it's easier said than done. Okay, like to say all these things sitting here in a session is very easy, but when Maya actually throws challenges in the real life, even the great stalwarts are shaken up at that time, right? So it can be difficult for people who are not practicing bhakti. Okay, but people who are very sincerely practicing bhakti, who are sincere devotees, okay, who follow the four regulative principles very nicely, read the Bhagavad Gita every day. For them, it's not a very difficult thing to do. Okay, because devotees are not dependent on their own strength. Okay, they are fully dependent on Krishna's strength. That okay, I just surrender myself to, just like Draupadi, put both hands up and I just surrender to Krishna. Make me dance to your tunes, no worries. Okay, with that. So once we are in that kind of mood, then okay, anyone who wants to overcome the fearfulness and anxiety must practice bhakti every single day. That is very, very important. Okay? And one very important aspect of, sorry, is anyone asking something? Okay. So one very important aspect of bhakti is chanting. Okay, so chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that's what we can do in this age of Kali Yuga. And those who are very sincerely chanting this mantra day in and day out, even if you are doing it maybe for 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, whatever, then you will see a very significant difference in your lives. You will be relieved of all your anxieties, and at the same time, you will never be bewildered in difficult situations. Always you will be you will remain level-headed, even in the toughest periods of your life. Okay, so please continue chanting. I know all of you are chanting very nicely, so keep at it. And no matter what happens, good happens or something bad happens in your life, never ever quit chanting. Okay. So with that, we'll move to the next verse. I'll share my screen again. Who can read? Nilesh Prabhu, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
न च श्रियं पश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च.
Very nice.
I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Should I read the purport, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Purport. Without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life, who is absolutely devoid to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant to even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen, there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yes, so very beautiful verse this is. And we'll see the translation and some very nice analogy Prabhupada is giving in this particular verse. Okay. So I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor I can see, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. So Krishna says that he doesn't want any victory, kingdom, or happiness. Okay. Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna. Okay. Nacha Rajyam Sukhani cha. Okay. So he's saying. So he doesn't want any victory or kingdom or happiness. Why? Because he thinks that okay, he's fit to go and live a life of secluded person, in a forest, and he thinks that is more justified. But there is a major flaw in this particular argument of Arjun. Okay, and we'll see what is that flaw and why he should not be doing this. So, very nice analogy Prabhupada is giving here. So it's just like saying, that okay, I'm not going to fight. These are all my kinsmen. Okay, so I'm not going to fight. So Arjun, we should understand that he is a member of a royal order again, right? And to protect his subjects or the people of his kingdom is his first and foremost responsibility. Okay, so making a statement like this, that okay, killing my own kinsmen, I cannot see any happiness in doing that, is simply something like saying, very nice analogy which Prabhupada is giving here. It's just like a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. Okay. Now just imagine that if there is a lady, a mother of two children, right, and she suppose says that okay, today I'm not going to cook because I am not hungry. Just imagine what will happen to the kids, right? So that is not justified. Okay, the responsibility of a mother is to take care of her children. Okay, so it's like she has to do that. Otherwise, the kids may even die, right? So this is not a justified argument from Arjuna's point of view. Okay, so the very important learning that we have here is that person who is in the leadership position, because Arjun is a part of a royal order, so he's in a leadership position, has to forget his personal joys and happiness. Okay, and he has to take care of the subordinates, the subjects of his kingdom. Okay, so we knew that Kauravas were not, very good people. They were not fair. They were very unjust. And in the Bhagavad Gita, they have been termed as atatais. There are six characters. There are six categories of people who come into this category of atatai. Okay, like one who steals another's money, one who sets another's house on fire, one who steals another's wife, and there are one who tries to give poison to someone. Okay, and there were two more which I'm forgetting right now. But we have seen that Kauravas had performed all these six acts actually. So they were atatais, and according to Shastras, they were supposed to be killed. Okay, so even though they were relatives of Arjun, so Arjun should not be showing any kind of slackness or any kind of emotions towards them. Okay, but here Arjun is basically bewildered and he is trying to show those emotions. Okay, so another very important aspect is that Arjun was a Kshatriya, we should understand. And Kshatriya has no other occupation but to, rule a particular kingdom. Okay. Apart from this, a Kshatriya cannot do anything. Even if they have to do something, they will ultimately lead a life of frustration. Okay, which Prabhupada is saying here. Uh, right? And so Arjun had no other option, but to fight and to reclaim the kingdom which were wrongly taken away from him by Kauravas, basically. Okay, but Arjun is in such a kind of bewilderment that he's thinking that it's easy for him to go and go to the forest and live a life of secluded life of frustration. What Prabhupada is saying here. But obviously, now just imagine if a person who is bound to rule someone, who is bound to rule a kingdom, if you are going to send that person to a forest, obviously he will be frustrated all the time. Okay. So he is giving up his Kshatriya dharma also. He is giving up his dharma as a king also, right? And he is not able to understand that this particular battle is not between him and his relatives, but it is between the dharma and adharma. Okay. So this is what this verse is all about. And this particular argument which he gives is just like, a person saying that, okay, I'm not going to cook because I'm not hungry. And not caring about all the other people who are dependent upon him or her, for his cookings. Okay. So very nice verse and a wonderful analogy which Prabhupada has given here. So we'll move to the next verse. Who else can read? Anyone? They can raise their hands. Let me know. Okay, Vasavi Mataji, would like to read? Okay, Shweta Mataji is there. Okay. Okay, so Mataji, what we are going to do here is that this particular verse goes from 32 to 35, but we have to uh, read only 32 and 33. The next two we will see in the next session. Okay. So, would you like to try yourself, or shall I help you out?
Prabhuji, I need your help.
I can't hear you, Mataji. Can you unmute yourself?
Prabhuji, I need your help.
Hey, your voice is very feeble.
Now,
Hello?
Yeah, now it's
Prabhuji,
better.
can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's much better.
I
So
need
would
your
you like,
help, Prabhuji.
so would you like to read, or shall I help you out, Mataji?
I need your help, Prabhuji.
Okay, no worries. Just follow, okay, what I read. Kimno Rajena Govinda,
Kinno Rajendra Govinda,
Kim Bhogair Jivitena va,
Kimbogena Jivitena Natha,
Yatha Marthe Kangshitam no Raj
Yasha Marthe Kanchi, Ksho
Tam no Rajyam Bhoga Sukhani cha
Tanno Rajan Bhoga Sukhani Nicha,
Ta ime avasthita yuddhe
Ta Imeva Stitha Yukte,
Pranasthya dhanani cha
Prana Santhya Dhan
Acharya Pitha Pautas
Acharya Pitra Putra
Tathaiva cha Pitamaha.
Tatheva Cha Pitamaha.
You can read the translation, and purport I'll tell you how long we have to read. Please read the translation. That is fine. I can explain the purport.
O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life in itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, son, grandfathers, maternal uncles, father-in-law, grandson, brother-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mata. Hare Krishna. Right. Very nice verse again. And just see, some very valid arguments are being put forward by Arjun in this particular verse. First thing, he is addressing Krishna as Govinda. Okay. Oh, Govinda, of what avail to us are the kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield, right? So just imagine, if we are working hard to, gain some material opulence, and for whom we are trying to do that? For our friends and relatives only. We want to show them off, with our friends and relatives. We want to enjoy them along with our friends and relatives. Suppose if our friends and relatives themselves are taken away from us, then obviously, like, what is the point of all the material opulence after that, right? It's it's going to be a difficult situation, and that's a valid argument which Arjun is actually putting forward in front of Krishna. Okay, so the reason, why, first of all, we'll see that why Krishna is being addressed as Govinda. Okay, so what Prabhupada says here is that Krishna is addressed as Govinda because Krishna is the object of pleasures for cows and the senses. So Go means cow, and Go also means senses, and Vinda means someone who actually gives pleasure to the So someone who gives pleasure to the cows or someone who gives pleasure to the senses is known as Govinda. Okay. So by using this significant word, Arjun indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjuna's senses. Okay. But Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. Okay. We should try and satisfy the senses of Govinda. See, this is a very, very important point over here and very important learning for all of us. Okay. That whenever we go to a temple, okay, or whenever we pray to God, basically, right? In most of the times, most of the cases, actually, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to do business with the Lord. Actually, okay, I will give you one laddu, you give me this, and this. Okay, this is our. I will give you two agarbattis, you give me this, and this. Okay, so Arjun is addressing here as Govinda because he is indirectly trying to say that, okay, you are the Govinda, you are the giver of the pleasure to the senses of all the living entities. So you should also try and give pleasure to my senses. Why are you forcing me to fight on this battlefield against my own kinsman? But it is not like that, okay? It's always the other way around. Krishna is not supposed to be, he's not actually obliged to, fulfill our desires, basically. But this is what we actually expect from him, right? Every time we go out and pray to Krishna or pray to any god in whom which we believe, basically, what happens? We just go there with a long list of desires and we just put that list in front of him. Okay, I am going to give you one laddu or one agarbatti, and instead, in in place of that, you give me just fulfill all my desires. Okay, so he's not our servant, basically, right? He's not there to, do that. Yes, Krishna will definitely fulfill uh, or rather give what we need. Okay, he may not necessarily give us what we want. That is a very important point to know. Okay, so people don't understand that, and we don't get, you know, something or something that we are achieving in the life. We are not able. We don't get it just by chance or hard work. Okay, so there is a complex karma cycle which is working behind the scenes, and actually we should understand that okay, if apparently Krishna is not giving me something, then I am not, I don't deserve that particular thing. Basically, this understanding has to be there. Okay, and but what happens is that people don't realize this thing, and if Krishna seemingly doesn't fulfill our desires, then we make a very big statement, oh, there is no God. भगवान जैसे तो कोई चीज ही नहीं है. We are just living in an illusion. This is something what we say actually. Okay, and this happens because we do not have the clear-cut understanding of the relationship with Krishna. Okay, we have seen, in the previous sessions also, that it has been clearly mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Lord Chaitanya has said that Jive Sharup hoy Krishnir Nityadas. Okay, we are the servants of Krishna. Not It's not the other way around. He is not obliged to fulfill all our desires. Okay, we should go and pray to Krishna not because we want certain things or certain people in our lives, but because it is our responsibility. That is the our eternal constitutional position. Basically, that's what we should be doing. Okay, with that mood we should go rather than with a long list of desires to be fulfilled. Okay, he is not our servant that he will be just listening to all our desires and just like an ATM, just see the ATM and swipe the card, right? It's not an ATM machine. Okay, so we have to understand that. Yes, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself has said that what for his pure devotees will preserve what they have, and he will carry what they lack. Okay, but when when we say that he will carry what they lack, that doesn't mean that he is going to give us everything. Okay, whatever we desire. Okay, he is going to only give us what we deserve and what we need. We have to be very clear on that part. Okay, and he is not someone who is obliged to fulfill our desires. Okay, so one very nice example, and what Prabhupada is saying here is that instead of expecting that Govinda should be satisfying our senses because it is his job to satisfy the senses of all living entities, it is always the other way around. We should try and give pleasure to the senses of Govinda. In that way, what will happen? Our senses will automatically be satisfied. How? I'll try to explain with one very nice analogy. Okay, I think I have given this analogy earlier as well, but yeah, I'll do it again. So, for example, you just imagine that there is a person who is a driver, driver of a very rich man, actually, and every day he is just, waiting for that person outside his office or in the parking lot of the office, and this rich guy, he comes and just, he just takes him to home and to office. That's what he does, basically, right? So, suppose one day is a very hot day, and this guy who is the owner of say some company who comes and then sits in his car and asks the driver to take him back home. The driver starts driving, and because it's a very hot day, the person says, okay, please turn on the AC and also play some nice soothing music. It was a hectic day in office, actually. So driver just follows the order and turns on the AC and turns on the music as well. Now just imagine the person who is the owner of the car, he is also a human being. The driver is also a human being. If the owner is feeling the heat, obviously driver is also feeling the heat. When the owner has asked to turn on the AC, the cold air of AC will give the relieving effect to the owner as well as to the driver altogether. Okay, the AC will not discriminate that okay, I'm going to cool only the person who is sitting behind. The driver will face the heat, right? It's not going to happen that way. So you see, just by following the orders of the owner, the senses of driver is also getting gratified. Okay, if the driver plays a nice music on the orders of the master is enjoying the music, and the driver will also enjoy the music. Okay, same thing happens when we try to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Okay, if we dovetail all our activities, all our belongings in service of Krishna, automatically we will feel very blissful. Okay, and that kind of bliss is not experienced by any material activity that we do in our day-to-day lives. Okay, that is at an altogether different platform. It is out of this, the jurisdiction of this material nature. Actually, that is in the spiritual. That's on the spiritual platform. Actually, so this is a very important learning that we should not be first. We should not be going to Krishna or maybe any other, like depending upon our faith, whatever we call him, actually, with a long list of desires. That okay, I have come here to you. You just fulfill my desires. It should always be the other way around. Okay, we should always keep Krishna in center, and with that, we should try to dovetail all our activities in the service of Krishna. And by doing that, we will be always blissful. Okay, we will be free of all anxieties, and that bliss will always be experienced. Actually, okay. So with that, I would like to conclude the session for today. I would like to open the floor for question and answers, or to share your realizations, whatever you may feel. You can just speak up right now, or if you have any queries, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think
Hare
at the
Krishna, Mataji.
beginning I couldn't able to listen some part due to network issue. So
Mhm.
today's session, what I understood, so always we should remember Krishna, like
Mhm.
not even like something greedy he will give or something. So we all are the servant of him. So we have to serve without any any greediness, without any expectation. Then he will take care of
Yes,
us. So
automatically our senses will be satisfied. Correct.
satisfied. And one realization from my side after joining this and after chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So now
Mhm.
now I am not thinking that much how I was thinking previously. Like something happened, it is going on my mind continuously, or sometimes
Mhm.
I'm overthinking. So that is the
Mhm.
one like good things happened with me, so I never stopped chanting. So I'm chanting. So still it's going to be 1 year. Then I
Mhm.
realized something changed in myself. I'm happy within myself only. And
Yes.
even when I'm alone, like I don't feel alone, I feel like he is with me. So I
Yes.
don't need anyone else to be like to
Correct.
make me happy, or to like if I meet someone, if someone come and do something, then only I'll be happy. So that
Mhm.
things, it's like decreases, it's
Yeah.
not like that my expectation from others, it is
Mhm.
decreasing. That my realization from Hare
Yeah.
Krishna Maha Mantra.
Right, because that detachment is happening actually, right? And yeah, regarding the overthinking aspect, just always remember one thing, Mataji, that no amount of regret can change your past, and no amount of anxiety can change your future. Okay,
Yes,
with that, if you with that attitude, if you keep on chanting, then I think yes, you are on the right track. Please keep chanting. Try to increase the number of rounds and just see the magic.
Prabhuji. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That's my realization for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any questions? Any queries?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I have one question.
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Actually, this thought came in my head after I was pondering from our last session, and
Okay.
I could not figure out an answer or could not guess an answer. So
Okay.
what was going on in my head was we are reading here that in different verses we have read that Krishna chose Arjuna
Mhm.
to give the speak the Bhagavad Gita to.
Okay.
By which he is also explaining or establishing the dharma
Mhm.
to this on this planet,
Hmm.
maybe in that yuga.
Hmm.
Now, usually, what happens is, I mean, in other ways, I mean, the elder brother of the family or the eldest of the family usually gets such gyan or gets such knowledge or is usually chosen. I mean, when it comes to the kingdom, it would have gone to Yudhishthira to rule on, being a Kshatriya. But then in this way, Arjuna is taking the whole thing in his hand, and Krishna is choosing Arjun to give the Bhagavad Gita to, or speak the Bhagavad Gita to. But why Arjuna and not why not Yudhishthir there?
Yes, because Arjun is a pure devotee of Krishna. Okay. Um, and we will see in the subsequent chapters of Bhagavad Gita that only pure devotees like Krishna chooses only those people who are actually eligible, for that. Just like in a company, when some very difficult task is there to be achieved, the most trustworthy person is handed over that task. It's not, it's irrespective of the position that a particular person holds in the company. Okay. That person may not be a very senior resource, but if that person has delivered, something very consistently over a period of time, then that person is actually interested with some difficult tasks to perform. Okay, so same is the case with devotees of Krishna as well. Okay, so Krishna chooses his pure devotees. And second thing is that when we speak about Krishna, we are talking about a supremely independent entity, Mataji. Okay, so it's entirely up to him whom he chooses, and through whom he actually tries to reestablish the principles of dharma. So yeah, but one answer is that Arjun was his pure devotee, and he was also a friend of Krishna. He's a very close friend of Krishna, to an extent that even in his sleep, actually, he used to chant Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Now, that kind of devotion was not shown by any other Pandavas. Actually, they all were devotees of Krishna, but Arjun was at an altogether different level. Okay. And we have also seen that he had proved himself by going to the other celestial planetary systems, defeating all the great fighters of those planetary systems. He had equaled Lord Shiva in a battle, right? So, and his mind was, extraordinarily controlled. When Urvashi approached him with an intention to unite with him, actually, he denied that. Now, how many people? I think no one can do that. No human can do that, actually, right? So, because we are not aware of the beauty of Apsaras, so it may seem that okay, it might have been a very easy thing to do. Once an Apsara stands in front of someone, then people will come to know. Even great people like Vishwamitra, actually, they got distracted by Apsaras. But Arjun, he just maintained his dignity, and he just said that okay, you are just like a mother to me. I cannot even think of having any relationship with you, like that. So that was the extent of the mind control of Arjun. So he had exhibited all these characteristics, and because of that, actually, he was chosen by Krishna to get this thing delivered. And only a person in that kind of a mental state can ask right questions, and Krishna, the answers which Krishna has given in the Bhagavad Gita would have been possible. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible. So yes, Arjun was a pure devotee, so that was the only reason.
I think it's all about samarpan. I don't know the English of samarpan, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
It's like
surrender.
surrender. Yeah, complete surrender is the most crucial thing.
Correct. And we'll see in the second chapter, that Arjun actually surrenders and says that, okay, Krishna, you are my spiritual master. Forget about the friendship now. I am your disciple. You are my spiritual master. Now just tell me exactly what to do. Okay. So once you give that kind of a surrender, and obviously only pure devotees can do that. And in the beginning of the session itself, I had said that Even reading the Bhagavad Gita, it requires a similar kind of surrender. Okay? Bhakto si mein sakhateti. People who are in a non-envious, friendly disposition towards Krishna, they and only they can understand the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, for all the other people, it will be rahasya dheta dukkhamam. It will always be a rahasya. Okay? It's not possible for anyone to understand the Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So did I answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Sorry, I couldn't read the shlokas today.
No worries,
Just
no worries.
I was in a listening mood, but yes,
Mhm.
but yes, one realization I would like to share, like
Mhm.
after Krishna consciousness, that whatever bad, even
Mhm.
very bad things happen to us, you
Mhm.
know, think that yes, this was a very small thing. Something major could have happened, and Krishna has averted just by, cutting a finger instead of the hand. It's like that. So that realization actually has happened so many times with me that, whenever you come across a bad or a worse situation, yes, something greater could have happened, and Krishna is just saving us from a greater disaster in life. So that is a miracle, actually. I have myself realized it so many times in life.
Mhm. Yeah, very true, Mataji. And that's what we read in today's sessions, right? That if we simply shift our focus from ourselves and just focus on Krishna, just have the remembrance of Krishna, two things will happen. One is that our attachment with all the material things and people around us will go away, and second, all the anxiety will go away. So exactly this is what is happening. That even if something bad happens in our life, we have that attitude that okay, something worse could have happened. Krishna has just saved us just by pricking a finger. Ideally, my whole entire hand would have been cut, right? Yeah. So that's very true, Mataji. Very beautiful realization. Thank you so much.
Cuts a finger instead of the hand. I
Yeah.
think that is actually happening with me. I don't know about others, but yes, with me, though, it's 200% happening.
Mhm.
So that is one great, biggest realization after coming to Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
A miracle every day in life. That's
Nice.
And one more realization, Prabhuji, like chanting Hare Krishna or getting surrendered to Krishna. So
Mhm.
it's feel like even mind is also controlled, like in the control position. Like that's
Mhm.
also one of my realization.
Yeah.
Even something is going on mind, if I'm chanting and saying like, God, no, this is not good. Come back from to me to that from that scenario and something, so it is
Mhm.
coming back. So that is also my realization. I am like
Mhm.
I shared, even mind control.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Mind control is just a byproduct of what you are doing. Like the actual progress that we make is actually the spiritual progress. Okay. That realization, unfortunately, people will not understand this because whole material world is based on the principle that until unless we see some external progress, we will not appreciate that. Okay. So I think Supriya Mataji actually she was beautifully pointing out a few sessions back that when once you start showing people that okay these are the material benefits that you get when you start chanting, like mind control and focus for an extended period of time,
Yes.
then people will start showing interest in chanting. Otherwise, if you'll just say that okay once you quit your body you will go back home back to Krishna, very few takers will be there for this particular argument, right? But the
Yes,
actual
Prabhuji.
benefit is that rather than mind control and everything. Yes,
Yes,
good.
yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
differentiate
Krishna.
like what is right and what is wrong. So
Mhm.
the differentiation realization also comes. Balaji.
Yes, automatically comes. Exactly right. Because it is said that if you start chanting the names of the god, then just like Lord Brahma got all the knowledge, just simply by meditating and chanting Om. So this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is not different from that Pranav Omkara, right? So it actually gives you all the knowledge from within. Actually, so yes, you will be having that clear-cut capability to distinguish between what is right and what is wrong, right? Okay, Shweta Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, the sessions, the classes, and the explanations, everything is awesome, Prabhuji. I really
Hari.
like the sessions, and every session we are having a story, and we are using that to
Yeah,
narrate to our childrens as well.
correct,
So
correct.
it's very helpful. So
Mm.
in the last session also, my daughter was very happy to hear two different stories altogether
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
Pandavas and
Mm.
About
Mm.
Madri also we
Mm.
had that
Right, right,
wonderful
right.
session. So we were not able to explain that. So
Mm.
luckily it was covered.
Mm.
And two things I want to share, Prabhuji. So
Mm.
far we have learned, I mean, different names of Krishna, right? So
Mm.
every time when we hear, every day we will say Krishna, Hare Rama. So we will be using this Vaishnava names. But
Mhm.
whenever we see from the Bhagavad Gita, right? So every day we will be getting one new name of Krishna.
Yes.
So today also we have heard about Keshava name.
Keshava and
So
Govind, right.
yeah,
So you
Purushottama
relate
was
now.
there,
Yeah, why he
Madhava.
was being called with that name, right? Right. Yes, very
Y-
nice realization, Mataji. Right.
So this is really very nice. So yeah, with meanings we are getting the names right. Why he is called Madhava, why he is called Purushottama, why he
Mm.
is called Keshava. So this is very awesome. I mean,
Mm.
something which we can explain to our family members, to our children also.
Correct.
First thing, and the other thing. Sorry for the disturbance, Prabhuji. Here
Yeah, no worries, no worries, Mataji.
thunderstorms are
Please go ahead.
happening.
Yeah.
Right? And also the second part is, uh, as far as I mean, my knowledge says, like Arjuna is not that covered, and he is not that sentimental, or I mean, he has gone through many things, right, before
Mm.
coming to Kurukshetra
Yes,
war. So
yes, correct.
still he is somewhere he is getting low,
Mm.
and he is I mean, asking his doubts, questions to Lord Sri Krishna, like
Mhm.
why this is happening, why this is happening. I mean, his mentally he is down right now in the war. So after seeing his fellow
Mhm.
kingsmen, so
Mhm.
he is low right now. So I'm eagerly waiting to listen what Krishna is going to say.
Mm. Yeah.
So
This entire Bhagavad Gita is actually, dedicated to this particular situation of Arjun. Actually, the entire Bhagavad Gita will be used to dispel out all the doubts from the mind of Arjun. Towards the end of the Bhagavad Gita, in the, I think, uh, 12th chapter, if I'm not wrong, 11th or 12th chapter, after Krishna shows the Virat Roop, all the doubts of Arjun will be dispelled, and then he will be ready to fight. Yes. So
yeah.
I
So
think,
we will also come across these kind of situations when we are into a
mm,
family. We
yeah,
can't hurt our family members or
mm,
maybe
correct,
extended family members. So
correct,
we will
correct.
be in that situation,
Mm,
right? Like, can
mm,
we oppose? Can we say
mm,
no to them and all?
mm.
So,
Yes, Bhagavad Gita has
uh,
all the answers. Trust me, Mataji.
yeah. So yeah, I literally like the questions asked by Arjuna also. So
Mm,
because of
correct.
that only we will be getting the
Mm.
perfect answers from Lord Sri Krishna, I
Exactly.
believe.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the plan of Krishna actually. So he is not. See, Arjun is already a liberated soul, right? He's already in company of Krishna. He is a friend of Krishna. He is always in contact with Krishna, both physically and emotionally, right?
Yeah.
So he's already liberated. There is no question about him not getting liberated, right? But still, Krishna puts him into this bewilderment. Just that he asks those questions, and we, the fallen souls of this Kali Yuga, we will have something, to learn and to get out of this material entanglement. Correct? It's
Yeah.
for us basically. And the names of Krishna which you spoke about, I think all glories to Srila Prabhupada and his divine purports, Bhakti Vedanta purports. Prabhupada used to say that Krishna has given, those purports, right? So one of the disciples, or maybe I don't know, if he was a disciple or someone, but he said, "But yeah, you have written it." So he said, "No, I have not written it." Again, he, very emphatically he said, "No, I have not written it. Krishna has written. He has made it, write these purports." So yes, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Just imagine if he was not there, where would we have been, right? Should be very, very thankful, and we should be deeply, consider ourselves very, very fortunate that we are a part of this glorious parampara. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. I think if no questions are there, then we can end this call. About next week, I'm not very sure right now whether we will be having the class or not, but I will update you maybe in 1 or 2 days. Okay. So till then, please keep attending the sessions like this. And even I enjoy a lot in the company of devotees like you. So yeah, let's meet every Saturday in big numbers and just make this session a big hit. And also just try to bring in more people. Okay, if not, then try to share the video recordings of these sessions, and if possible, just try to like the video and share it across with all your friends and family. Okay, if they are not able to come to the sessions, at least they will get an association online, right, with the video recordings. So with that, I would just like to conclude the session. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Hare
kripa
Krishna.
sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.